I am recording.
I am recording.
I am recording. Ba, ba, ba. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 654th episode of the Pokemon Podcast. It's super effective. I'm your host, Steve. With me is Bobby.
Hey, I hit rank 60 in Pokemon Sleep this morning. So I'm starting the real game now, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah, the real game finally begins. It does get better when you're 60 because then you start earning more dream shards and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, but you still have to play the game, so.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Great.
Sorry. Starting off on a bummer.
Al is also here.
Yes, and I have revisited my love for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee and reminded myself of how good a game they are.
They are good.
I'm coming in with a positive.
Perfect. All right. For today's show, we have TCG Pocket. We have some Sleep. We have some Pokemon Go. All mobile games, really. That's really what this show has become since Scarlet and Violet. Well, Scarlet and Violet has had events. They just happen after we record, and they end before the episode comes out.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know if anyone is super excited about Screamtail and I don't even know what the other
Iron
Pokemon.
Bundle?
Oh, Screamtail and Bundle.
Was it Herba Mystica with them?
Yeah, it was a 3% drop for Herba Mystica. I mean, they didn't finish the Paradox Pokemon when they originally started. And when they originally started, it broke.
Right.
Oh,
And-
I forgot about that.
It didn't work. Bundle was a 7-star, so people probably felt like this was a repeat. But Screamtail has never been in raids, and Screamtail was featured heavily in the anime in Japan this week, so that makes sense.
Got it.
And also, about a year ago today, there was Flutter Mane and something else standing next to her. So they did do Paradox Pokemon around this time last year, but I still think they need to do, Thorns? And I don't think they did Roaring Moon yet.
Did they do Iron Valiant either?
No Valiant.
They probably do those two at the same time.
Yeah,
I
it would be
imagine.
Valiant and Roaring together, which then would confirm that
nicknames.
Gen 6 is coming.
If you're going to start nicknaming these Paradox Pokemon, we're going back to calling Tyranitar T-Tar.
I'm not nicknaming them. I'm just dropping one of the words. There's no nickname.
I will say with the Screamtail anime episode, I am enjoying how similar but also different it is to Jigglypuff and how it is in the anime. I think it's fun.
Wait, do you guys have those episodes in the?
No.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure because I think that's a fair question because the U.S.
No, that is fair. We are ahead of you. Yeah,
Yeah, you
we
guys
are ahead
are
of you,
ahead.
but we're not on the same week as Japan. No,
Okay.
Got it.
just Japan. Obviously, I speak Japanese clearly, and that's what's
True.
happening here.
Ohio
So,
gozaimasu.
In other Screamtail news, I also got a shiny Screamtail this week, and
Nice.
it wasn't in a raid, but it's got a really nice shiny. I do like the color change on the eyes. So, good old Screamtail. So yeah, we're all excited about Screamtail, Steve.
Perfect. Screamtails for all. Let's start off with Pokemon TCG Pocket. Let's start there. We knew both trading and a new set was coming by the end of the month. For some reason, the Pokemon Company in general loves to be like, this is coming this month, and then wait until the end of the month to be like, it's coming in 2 days. So they showed off a new expansion, which is called Space Time Smackdown. It will release on January 30th in some places and January 29th in other places. How is that possible? It's because of time zones. So we were talking about this before the show. Mythical Island came out at 10 p.m. Pacific time, midnight Central time.
Yep.
6 p.m. GMT.
Yeah.
No, 6 a.m. Sorry, 6 a.m. GMT.
Yeah.
Or UTC, whatever you want to.
It's the time everybody's day resets for, like, every day at 10 p.m. Pacific is when my day resets. I get my like daily bonuses. All of that starts at 10 p.m.
That doesn't happen at local. That is bizarre. I assumed it was the same time.
10 p.m.
local
every
time.
day is when I
That's
can
bizarre.
log in, open packs, and get my 4 hourglasses for daily.
Mine
every
is
day
at
10 p.m.
midnight because
Yeah,
Central
so
time is best.
It's
So yours resets at what, like 5 a.m., Al?
6 a.m. for
6 a.m.
Currently 6 a.m. Yeah, which I mean, my opinion is that 6 a.m. is the start of the day. I don't think midnight is the start of the day. So I would say that UTC is the best time zone.
no, Pacific's the best because I get it the day before everybody else.
Sure.
I guess. But also Pokemon Go resets local time.
Yeah.
But so Pokemon Go resets at midnight, and Pocket for me resets at midnight. So that's good for me to be like, oh, I got to do all my checks.
Do everything at midnight.
Yeah.
But sleep resets at 4.
That's true.
Steve's time traveling anyway.
I'm only telling it I'm waking up in Denver like 2 times a week. So assuming it's coming out at the same time Mythical Island, but also assuming that it won't work for the majority of players for the first hour it launches, because Mythical Island was not a smooth launch at all. Like,
No, but it wasn't that bad. It was. I would say it was like maybe 20 minutes of like.
20? It was for sure like
Okay,
an
maybe
hour
maybe I
plus.
just got lucky, but every time when I was playing the game, in that first like 20-30 minutes, it would do that like error. It would pop up the error. But if I just tapped OK, it continued playing. It never
just
stopped me like
brute
actually
forced
playing the
it.
game. So when people were like, "Oh, I can't play," I was like, "I kind of can and can't," but it's not like Pokemon Go bad. Like when Pokemon Go breaks down and then you can't even like open the app.
Yeah, sure.
Although I think logging in didn't work. So if you weren't already logged in, you basically couldn't get in for the first half an hour or so.
I see.
It'll be fine. It was very smooth when I'll open up packs in the morning anyway, so it was fine. Let's talk about the trade feature first, because that's coming the 28th. Sorry, depending on time zone, I guess.
The day before-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, the day before.
I don't expect, I was saying this on the Slack, I don't expect that will happen at a specific time. I think that'll just come with the update. The update will drop and kind of roll slowly throughout the day. And when you get the update, you'll have trading, I suspect. I don't think that will be tied to a server update. I think that's just it. The
You
update
think
will
so,
have
though?
trading.
Because like it has that one has to do with interacting with other people. So you think that they would have it where like I could trade, but you can't. So then we can't interact with each other at that time.
Yeah, because then it says you can't do it. Well, you just need to go and update the app.
Right. Okay.
Because
Yeah, I can see that.
what they're hoping is that most people just don't update the app at the same time, right? Because the app stores have that rollout feature where it doesn't just give it to everybody all at the same time.
Right.
So it
Yeah.
automatically kind of levels out the number of people doing it at the same time.
Also, trading is restricted because you need a brand new item. So even if when trading arrives, not me saying last week that DNA loves adding new currencies, and they proceeded to not add 1 currency, but 2 new currencies to do trading.
It's so bad. It's so bad. So is Shine Dust just for Flare then?
Yep.
That's
It doesn't do
wild.
anything for trading. Which is the funniest comment I saw this past week was, well, I guess I'll spend my Shine Dust on Flare.
I
Because
guess that's one way of doing it. But at least the Pokemon trading card game now has trading.
That's true.
That's exciting.
Pokemon trading card game online does not have trading, even though it's in its name. Players will need 2 new items, trade hourglasses and trade tokens, in order to trade cards with a rarity of Diamond 1 to 4 and Star 1 with cards of the same rarity. Okay, we never talked about this, and maybe I'm confused. Is it saying that we have to trade 1 stars together? Like, I can't give you a diamond for 1?
Correct.
Yes, I think it definitely. So I'm not 100% sure. It definitely means you have to do a 2-star with a 2. A 2 diamond with a 2 diamond and a 3 diamond with a 3 diamond. I think it does mean that a 1-star has to be with a 1-star. But I have a sneaky suspicion, based on nothing, that I think it might mean that any diamond can be traded for any other diamond. So you could trade a 2 diamond for a 4 diamond. I think they just don't want you trading stars for diamonds.
For the whole sake of, like...
For whatever reason it is they want. Yeah. Money.
I don't
Money.
think they're going to let you trade a 4 diamond for a 1 diamond. Like, I don't think they're going to let you trade an EX card for a non-EX card.
I just feel like there's a reason that and I know you could argue that the reason is, well, that's because it's a secret rare and that's how they did it in the physical trading card game. But I feel like there's a real reason that there's diamonds and there's stars, rather than it just being a gradual increase.
Well, I think that the reason there are diamonds and there are stars is because they want to separate those like artworks from each other in some way, but like because the cards are the same, they had to separate them in some other way, right? Like because the battle mechanics of the cards are the same, there had to be some other differentiation between them so that they could say this is more rare, even though it's the same like battle moves and everything.
They could do that anyway if it was 5 diamond and 6 diamond rather than 1-star and 2-star.
You know, back in my day, we had common, uncommon, and rare. Nothing else. That was it. You had a circle, a diamond, and a star.
Well, and when they released a set, they told you how many cards were in it.
Well,
I could go to my KB toy store.
To be fair, all of the weird like 2-star and then gold star and silver star, all of that in the physical TCG, that only changed in the Scarlet and Violet era. Prior to that, it was still just circle, diamond, star, I think, up until Scarlet Violet. So, I think they're just going along with how they're doing it in the Scarlet and Violet.
And I did say that's an argument, but I feel like... we will know. We will know in a matter of days whether I'm right or not. But that is my theory, is that I think rarity doesn't necessarily mean which gradation of diamond it is. But I think diamond is a rarity and star is a rarity. But
I see the argument there.
We'll see. I think it would make perfect sense. And I feel like if they cared much about being like EXs are more rare, I feel like they wouldn't just be diamond cards. Because is it just EXs that are 4 diamonds, or are there other cards that are 4 diamonds as well?
Just EXs are 4 diamonds.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the real game, there's a lot of EXs that are worth less than some other cards.
True.
Like,
yeah.
But like Greavyard EX is like 99 cents or something.
Oh, most
That's
of
not
the
even a
EX
real
cards
card.
are less than $1. Yeah.
Upon release of the new feature, players will be able to trade certain cards from Genetic, Apex, and Mythical Island expansions. So, obviously, the next day when Space Time Smackdown comes out, which I think is not a great name, because I just think of wrestling when I say that, that will not be able to be traded, which I'm sure people will be like, something's broken, I can't trade for Space Time, whatever. That's fine. I'm very excited to see my Wonder Trades not be Mythical Island anymore. I don't need any cards for Mythical Island.
Yeah. I think of all the restrictions on trading, that's the one that I totally get and I don't care, right? Like they don't it's the only one that doesn't feel just money related. It's like we don't want people just getting all the cards day one. Fine, yeah, sure. I'm okay with that.
For sure.
Makes sense.
So from what we've seen in the screenshots, it's the same cooldown that would be for Wonder Trade, like the little 5 ticker at the top that like refills.
Wonder Pick. You call it Wonder
Oh,
Trade.
sorry, Wonder Pick.
I wish we had Wonder Trade. That would be cool. Just random, just see what you get.
And then there's another token that you need, and they have a screenshot of a Raichu, which says that it needs 1 trade hourglass out of 5, and then it needed 120 trade tokens. And Raichu is a 3-star, 3 diamond Pokemon. And they were trading for a Tauros, which is also 3 diamond.
Okay.
120.
So the hourglasses are self-explanatory, right? They're the same as all the other hourglasses, right? You gain them over time, and you might get some through other things. Fine. I'm still. Do we know how we're getting the other one?
No, we don't.
No, okay, right, fine. And why? Like, it just.
We don't know how. So my assumption is, which is what I said last week, is that there will probably be trade events where you can earn tokens, and like trading will be faster, and like during trade events you could like trade promos, or you could trade maybe cards that they're saying that you can't trade yet.
So that just brought up a very quick thought. They didn't say anything about being able to trade promos at all in this, right? Which was the assumption that a lot of people were having, where, if I've missed a promo card, that's fine, I'll be able to trade it, but probably not.
No, because promos don't fall under
diamonds.
Exactly.
Stars. Yeah, so no promos. I am concerned with, so these 3 diamond cards were 120 tokens to trade. And if you think about like what 120 pack hourglasses is, that's a 10 pull, right? And like 120 like Wonder Pick pieces is a lot as well. Like, how long is it going to take to get 120 of these tokens to be able to trade? If, those other currencies take a while to get to 120 of them. And if it's 120 just to trade 1 3 diamond card, it's a little concerning.
We just don't know anything about them, right? Because for all we know, you could theoretically get 1,000 of them a day, right? Because they're not the same as the hourglasses. I'm confused as to why they need to, right? Because the whole point of hourglasses is to limit you to how much you can do in a day unless you pay money, right? And the whole point of having a currency is to limit you to how much you can do without paying. So now you're being limited twice with 2 different currencies. And that it just seems like a really... Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't get what this would benefit them at all.
I think it's just whale prevention. Because a normal person probably isn't trading that many, right?
But surely it just means the whales are paying more, right? It doesn't... Unless, it's the assumption you just can't buy the trade tokens.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Like, if I lived next to Bobby, because Al's too far away, but this is a very similar thing in Pokemon Go, although maybe Pokemon Go does it better. But like, I guess there's debate for that. But if I live next to Bobby and I'm like, Bobby, I'm missing 10 cards, and Bobby's like, cool, I got them, and I go to trade 1, and then there's a cooldown, I might be like, no big deal, I'll see you tomorrow. And then I'll trade the second one. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like, a whale would be like, I want everything to my other account. I don't care. I'm just going to pay it. Like, I would... It is similar to Pokemon Go in the sense of, like, I am not going to pay money to move my Pokemon to Pokemon Home. I will wait the 5 days. It's fine.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't understand. Because then this is the one thing we're doing where they're actually restricting the money that people can spend. Assuming that you can't buy the trade tokens, which I guess would be the reason.
I bet you can. I bet you can buy the trade tokens. And,
you think you can?
Yeah.
But you can't buy... Like, there's a limit on, like, buying the hourglasses and the
yeah, there's a limit.
Classes.
Well, there's not. Because you just buy gold.
Right, you just buy gold, I guess. But you can't... The gold
Right, because
can't
you would
get
pay gold to replenish the
hourglasses.
Hourglasses.
Exactly. So I don't like in that if you can buy the trade tokens, you're just essentially saying, well, you just have to pay twice for every trade. So the only reason
they're getting money from they're getting money from whales, whereas everyone else realistically aren't going to hit these limits.
Okay, maybe I'm not explaining myself. So assume for a second that you can't buy the trade tokens. Okay? Because this is the only reason I feel like there would be two. Is if you can't buy the trade token. Because then you've got one that is time limited and one that is limited based on how much we want to let you do it. Okay? If you can buy the trade tokens, what benefit is the extra thing doing? Because you're having to buy gold to buy the hourglasses anyway, or you wait. And if you have
Also,
the trade tokens, then you're just buying two items to trade.
Also, to be fair, the whales probably have all these cards anyways.
Well, yes, there is that. Yeah, you're not going to pay money to trade when you can just pay money to buy packs.
So this seems more like the Wonder Pick, right, than the pack opening, right? Because with Wonder Pick, you can't buy, like, you can't use gold to buy the Wonder Pick.
Yes, you can.
Hourglasses.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can.
I have done it. To my shame.
You can?
You can.
Yep,
you can also use gold because I've done this before. You know when you have like 5 little diamonds or whatever to like do the solo matches for promo cards, you can buy those diamonds with gold.
Yep. Yeah, don't
because
do that.
I couldn't get a Blastoise or a Venusaur or whatever the one promo card was, and then I burned through my 5 for the day, and there was like 6 hours left of the event. I was like, I still don't have a second. It was Venusaur. And so I spent like, I don't know how much it was, like 60 gold or something, which is like $1.
I
Is that
had
not
no
$10?
idea. I'm now seeing this in here. I've never. Okay, I don't Wonder Pick enough to like be trying to spend gold to Wonder Pick, I guess. But I didn't.
I
realize
literally
you could do that.
complained on the Slack saying I'm going to stop buying Wonder Picks with gold because it's just
I've had no issue.
bad.
Interesting.
Like Wonder Pick doesn't do it for me. But like the promo cards got me because I was like, this is
It's limited. Yeah. Yeah.
okay. But there are restrictions, right? Maybe Wales is not the right person they're trying to target because like Wales have all these cards, but it would probably be multi-account people. Because again, you could get 2 packs a day for free having one account, but there is definitely somebody out there that has 10 accounts and they're ripping 40 packs a day for free, not spending any money, but they're ripping 40 packs a day for free, and now they want all those cards to one account. I think it's just to prevent.
The hourglasses limits them if they're not willing to pay.
But they are not paying. That's why they got 10 accounts. They're not paying.
No, I don't. That's my point, right? But the hourglasses stops them from trading everything just to their account.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still not seeing what the extra thing restricts at all, unless you can't buy it.
I don't know why you wouldn't be able to buy it. You can buy pretty much everything at this point, right?
I don't know why it would exist if you could buy it. Like, this is the thing. I don't. If you can't buy it, I can see why it exists.
The only good answer I can give you is what I said last week, which is DNA loves having different currencies.
This is the first thing that has multiple currencies for it, right? That has like 2 different, because like Wonder Pick, it's only one thing. Events, it's only one currency. Like,
Unless you count the flares as 2 currencies because you're using Shine Dust and cards.
Yes.
But
okay.
other than
Got
that, I think you're right, yeah.
Speaking of flares, we kicked Hannah off the show permanently because she was wrong last week. That's why she's not here. Actually, we got corrected. I didn't know how
corrected over and over by everyone.
So what was the actual correction that Hannah said? Al was saying it before the show. Something about like
Was I? I can't remember.
So
was
I didn't understand what Hannah was saying, because when I went to a lower diamond thing, I only saw one shine dust. But when I went to a bigger one, I saw like 10 different ones I can buy, and I could buy any of them.
Yeah,
but
so
she was saying you had to
on...
buy them in an order.
Yeah, so if you're on one of the lower rarity cards, say a Meltan, a 1 diamond card, you can unlock the first flare, and when you do that, it gives you a second one you can unlock. And then once you've unlocked that one, you can then unlock a third one, and then you all the way up to all of them. And what Hannah was saying is that was the case for all of them except promos. And that's not correct. It is the case for all the diamond ones? Is that what we're saying now? And the stars...
I'm not saying anything.
Okay. Bobby doesn't want to get kicked off. It is the case for some of the cards, and not for others.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because I can go into Immersive Mewtwo, and I can buy whichever flare I want. But I didn't know the lower ones had multiple flares, because when I clicked on, a Tauros, I only saw one flare, so I just assumed that it had one flare. But
it doesn't
I
show
understand
you
what Hannah was saying now.
One.
When you buy that one flare, it unlocks a new one after that.
It's 4 diamond and below that you have to...
Okay.
Unlock.
And then promos still need to be crushed. This was what Bobby was saying last week, which was was an error. Promos still need to be crushed, but the special promos, which are still promos, which would be like the free Mewtwo and the free, well, not free, but the Premium Mewtwo and the Pikachu that you only get one of, or the Pokedex that we all just got. Those don't have crushing because you only have one.
Yep. I said immersives didn't need to be crushed last week. That is untrue. Immersives, everything else still needs to be crushed. Just the promos you can only get one of don't need to be crushed. Mewtwo, Pikachu, Moltres EX, the Pokedex we just got, and that blue, I think the blue Pikachu as well. The Pikachu that's got the Pikachu and Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle on it. We got that for some reason. I forget why.
The Pokedex?
It wasn't a... No, the one that...
No, I know
it's
the
a
one you
Pikachu.
mean.
It's a Pikachu.
The New Year's one. New Year's,
yeah.
That's what it was.
That's what it was. Actually, it's just Hannah's birthday today. That's why she's not here.
Yeah.
She had like birthday breakfast or something. Yeah, so I guess we'll have our questions answered about trading. Really, I felt like they literally could have just done Shine Dust and Hourglasses. Unless, like, they really are committed to this flare thing.
Or just Hourglasses. If they wanted,
Al, do you care about flare?
Not particularly. So I guess my problem with flare is that you basically only ever see it when the card is, like, presented during a battle. So, like, once it like flips up on the screen and you see the flare and it goes down onto the table, and then once it's on the table you don't see it anymore. So it's like, huzzah, sparkles, never again during the battle. It's such a weirdly restricted thing, and I also don't think many of them look very good. I think if they showed the entire time in battle, like how, and I know people hate these comparisons, but like how Marvel Snap does, where it's just that card is just always looking like that.
Too soon,
and
Al, too soon. The U.S. had to suffer without Marvel Snap for almost a week.
Yep, they maybe did, but they're about to get some stuff for it, so no moans. So if it showed all the time and there were some that I thought looked good, then I would absolutely. I mean, I just purchased one for the Pikachu promo because, well, why not now if the Shine Dust is not going to be used for trading?
Do you think that the token... One, do you think we can trade flared cards?
Well, no, because the flare isn't attached to a card.
Oh,
you add flare to a card when you put it in a deck.
This is me only doing one flare in my entire life, which was the Zapdos.
Did you do
Which, to be fair,
I did the Mew one. I did the Mew one.
There you go.
I think you've done more than most people who play the game have.
Two?
But yeah, because you build your deck, and when you're building your deck, you say, put this flare on this card. So no, I don't think.
I see. Okay. Yeah. So it's not permanently attached. You can remove it.
Right. It's in its own bucket almost.
Why would I remove the 2 flares I've ever done? Okay. We'll talk about a couple of the cards, and there's also McDonald's promo happening right now, but let's take a quick break. And then when we come back, we will talk about the cards we've seen so far. So we will be right back. And we are back from our break. All right, they showed off some new cards in Smackdown. They showed off a Dialga, a Palkia, Lucario, Cresselia, Honchkrow. In the Japanese version, it has 1 retreat. In the English trailer, it has 2 retreat for whatever reason. Pachirisu, Leafeon. I did a whole video on the YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, I guess it'll pop up if you're listening to the podcast whenever you're safely not running on a treadmill or driving your car. That's up on YouTube, of what I thought of those cards, kind of like in a vacuum, right? Because like a lot of cards are very dependent on other cards. Like Mewtwo is very good because Gardevoir exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the craziest thing I saw, and this is like no offense to anyone, is the craziest thing I saw all week was people being like, what are tool cards? And I just thought that was like a very common thing, like, because it's existed so long in the normal trading card game of like, so it was like 10 minutes of that video explaining like really popular tool cards that do exist, because like tool cards that have existed for 20 some years, they just reprint them. They just maybe change the text a little bit, maybe change what it does, but it's all the same. It's like it's the same like held items you would see in like a normal Pokemon game, like experience share. Well, that's not a held item anymore. Back in my day, it used to be a held item. But yeah, explaining what tool cards we could possibly see: Muscle Band, Focus Sash, Air Balloon, stuff like that. So if you don't know how tool cards work, that video is also good to check out. But I gave my opinion about the new cards. I would love to hear your guys' opinion.
My thoughts around the specifically the tool cards was whether 20 card decks are big enough for people to really use them, because for every one of those you put in, you have to take something out. And I think unless you're obviously there are a few decks which are like, like the Articuno Misty deck, which is like you only have your Articuno. Something like that I could see throwing in a bunch of tool cards, because it's just like an additional thing. They don't need most of the cards they've put in that deck. They don't care about that. But like looking at it depends on what the item is, obviously. Right, because different things will do different things for different decks. But like, I'm struggling to see what I would take out of my existing decks to put that in.
Yeah, I would assume that tool cards are going to be a lot more niche, kind of almost similar to like an item like Mythical Slab. Mythical Slab is purely for psychic decks. And since Pachirisu is one of the tool card users, as we know, based on its attack, if it's holding a tool card, it will do 40 more damage. Even with the current tool cards that exist, unless it's like almost like an electric specific tool card, I don't know what tool card would be like super beneficial for it. Because like a very popular tool card that usually was included in decks would be like an air balloon or like a skateboard, which would just give that Pokemon easier retreat. Which, does that mean Pikachu's just stop running X speed and instead they just run like an air balloon? Like that would be a good compromise. Because ideally you really only need 2x speed. But if you're attaching that specifically to Pachirisu and you need to retreat your Zapdos, now you're kind of wishing you had the X speed.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. I think the 20 card decks make it like, where are we fitting this?
Yeah.
But I think
I
optimal.
did see the. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I did see the Honchkrow and thought that'll fit in nicely to any sniper decks.
Yeah. I
Not
mean,
that
like,
they're very
Pocket's not
common.
really... Pocket's not doing itself any favors of, because decks are so small, it's just like the Mewtwo's, the Pikachu's, the Pokemon that don't need to be evolved seem to just do better. You could
Yeah.
argue Celebi, Mew.
I like
It's like, it's hard to fit
right.
6 Pokemon in. When I say 6 Pokemon, I think of like a Pokemon like Pidgeot, because everyone's talking about Pidgeot all of a sudden with Dialga, which I don't think I don't think it's good. I just don't. But Pidgeot's 6 cards, right? 2, 2, 2, and then Dialga's another 2. That's 8 Pokemon right there. You could argue like Mewtwo, Gardevoir, I guess, but Mewtwo's the attacker, Gardevoir's just the supporter, whereas Dialga would be the support and Pidgeot would be the attacker.
Maybe. I
forget
mean,
what
all these
Pidgeot's
things are
move
massively reliant on the rest of the deck and how other decks react to that, right? So I guess this is the problem with, as you've talked about before, predicting about any of this before we actually see it in the wild.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, the archetypes that exist in Pocket are not unique. They come from the physical game.
Yeah.
So we see a lot of patterns. I guess that's why I was like hyper focused on people being like, what are tool cards? Because it really opened my eyes to how big this game is and how many people have never actually played the real game. Because, like, again, tool cards have been around for 20 some years. And even if you went to the store and you were like, I'm going to buy Champion's Path, and you ripped open some Champion's Path to like try to pull a Charizard, there was tool cards in those booster packs. Like, you would have seen them.
Yeah. But if you were just collecting, you wouldn't have like
exactly
known what they were doing. Even
No,
you know.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like they have existed and they're here. It's just like people are now playing the game for the first time, being like,
yeah. I think a lot of people don't notice, especially if you're a collector and don't play the game at all, that like the trainer cards, that there are actually like subsets to the trainer cards. I think people see like this is a trainer card, and then that just goes into like when they're piling their cards together to separate them, that just goes into the trainer card pile. And I think people don't realize that there's like actually like supporter, tool, stadium. Like I think people see those pictures and things, but don't actually realize like, oh, that's actually a subset like within
I see what
the trainer like umbrella.
It doesn't help with the bad naming of trainer card when they have cards that are actual trainers that are trainer cards, but they're supporter cards, and there are other ones that aren't trainers but are trainer cards. Item is a good name.
Yeah.
Was there any cards, Bobby, that you saw that you were like tight? Like I'm into this.
I think I don't really like, I don't know, because I don't play. So I saw like Palkia, but that's water, and I haven't really played many water decks. Except I do play the one that Hannah always talks about, the Melmetal Greninja deck. I do play that from time to time, which I think is pretty fun. And I wonder if Dialga will be better or worse in that position. I think that Melmetal not being an EX is like really helpful. And the fact that Dialga is an EX, then you're losing 2 points when that gets knocked out. But I did think that might be interesting to switch that up with Melmetal for that deck. Other than that, I like the Lucario as well. I thought the Lucario would be a good card in there. I forget.
That's just because you like the look of the alt art card, isn't it?
The what?
It's just because you like the look of the alt art card.
Oh, of course. The artwork's great. The artwork's great in that card. No, but it's because what was it? It was saying like, because I forget where I heard you talking about this. It might have been in your video, but like it doesn't say anything about the Lucario card like not being able to stack. Right?
Yes.
Like, so like if it can stack, that could be potentially pretty helpful.
Should be able to stack. The rule is pretty black and white. Black and white confirmed. But the the rule is pretty straightforward. Like what I said in the video is, so Lucario's ability says all fighting type Pokemon will do 20 more damage to the active. So because Lucario is also a fighting type Pokemon, his move does 60 instead of 40. If I'm remember, I don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it does 40.
Yeah.
And then ideally, if you had another Lucario on your bench, that ability should also activate. So you should be doing 80 instead of 40, ideally. And the reason that should work is because a card like Superior will say, this effect does not stack. And Lucario specifically doesn't say that. So it still does require you to have 2 Lucario.
Yeah, and you're limited to 2, obviously. I guess that's the thing. If it was in the main one, if it was in the standard where you had up to 4 of any card, it might be more likely not to stack, right? It would have said that, because that suddenly becomes a lot more. Whereas it's like plus 20 2 times is a big advantage, but it's not like a game-breaking advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, I was thinking about it with like a Marshadow, but then you got to have something that's knocking out the thing before the Marshadow to get the 100 damage, and then it would stack on top of that for like a 140.
Well, Dredigan, just everyone runs Dredigan.
My question is, does it... Because I'm not sure whether there's a rule around this, but when you add on damage to an attack that can do 0 damage, do you get the benefit of that if you do 0 damage?
What?
So I'm thinking Marowak EX. Two tails, you would normally get 0 damage. But if you have Lucario out on the bench, do you do 20 damage?
I'd have to read the rule again, but I want to say off the top of my head, no.
That is what I'm thinking, because I think I've done like a Giovanni with an Eevee and gotten no heads.
0.
And I think it does 0 damage.
Yes.
So presumably that would do the same thing then.
Yes, I've seen the same with Celebi, where they'll do Giovanni and then they'll flip 3 tails and then it says 0. So it should be similar to that. Yes. Yeah, I saw that Dialga everyone seemed very excited about Dialga, and I feel like I'm the only person that's like, Dialga seems fine. Like, I don't think it seems amazingly overpowered. I did initially misread its first move. So Metallic Turbo does 30 damage, and it says take 2 metal energy from your energy zone and attach it up to one of your bench Pokemon. We already tested this, obviously. You don't need to technically have metal energy to pull metal energy from your zone.
Except that it doesn't make any difference to this one because you need 2 metal energy.
Right. If there was a card like Misty to apply, sure.
Yeah.
I initially read it as 1. I still don't think that's overpowered. So when people, talking about like card over archetypes, right? So if you have Dialga and your Pokemon behind you is Pidgeot, which is what Pidgeot, Mew, or Tauros, which are like the top 3 people are thinking of, which I don't think it will be any of that. Honestly, there will probably be a better card to sit behind Dialga in this set, I'm sure. But that's like not different than Moltres, right? Moltres is 1 energy, and you can go between 0 and 3. So like right now, you could build Moltres, Pidgeot, Moltres, Tauros, and do the same thing. You could maybe even argue that besides like luck, Moltres would be faster because you can't do those 2 energies until turn 2. Moltres, you can start on turn 1, and then on turn 2, you can just apply an energy to the back because you don't need to give Moltres a second energy. So Moltres, so to say like, oh, this card is super overpowered, like Moltres already exists. And Moltres can go technically up to 6 by turn 2, where Dialga caps at 2. Now, to be fair, I've always said I would prefer consistency over a coin flip, and I still stand by that. That's why I don't play Misty, but that's also why I don't play Moltres. But that's also why I play Pikachu and Mewtwo, because neither of them rely on coin flips. But as we've seen, for some reason, people love playing Celebi, because they love flipping heads, I guess. Not me.
They just like those big numbers.
They do. That's true.
Yep.
I guess I see what you're saying, though. It's not necessarily any better than those existing ones, other than because there's no flipping, but you have to take an extra turn to get there. And if you're starting out as in first turn, then it's another turn for you before you can do that move.
Yeah.
You're on your third turn before you can even start using that.
Right.
I could see it being useful in some cases, but yeah, it's definitely not a game-breaking thing.
No.
Yeah. There's also like threshold numbers you have to think of. So like the threshold right now in Pocket is about 80 damage, which Pikachu does 90. But like, so 80 damage is still two-shotting Moltres. 80 damage is still two-shotting Dialga. Still two-shotting Mewtwo. Still two-shotting Celebi. So when you fall below that, when you get to like 70 damage, all of a sudden a Dialga or a Mewtwo becomes a 3-shot. It's not as good. So that's why Pikachu EX is as good as Pikachu EX is, because ideally you're hitting for 90 every turn. And I think in my video, that's why I was like, feel like Dialga would be a lot better if it just had 10 more HP. Because you are going into a different threshold, especially
20,
like
surely.
You need
What?
like 20 though, right?
20. Because 10 more would be 160, which is still two-shotted by 80.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
So 20 more.
Yeah.
Sorry. I get your point.
Yeah. You're looking at like number thresholds, and people still don't like fully understand that with like potions. Like they'll potion in front of you, and it's like I'm still doing more than enough damage.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I think one thing so we now have a metal EX card. We didn't until Dialga. We still don't have a dark EX card, but like we've seen the binder cover. We've seen like Darkrai is going to be in this game. It's got to have an EX, right? Like there's got to be a Darkrai EX in this set. So we'll have the Darkness EX, and I think that's it, right? I think all the other types in the game have an EX card. So maybe Dragon.
I was going to say Dragon. We don't have one.
We have a Gibble that was showed up, so maybe we'll see a Garchomp EX as well.
Yeah, but then you've got the Mewtwo problem of it's a 3-stage.
Yeah.
EX.
And we should be getting a Togekiss that could also be EX, because Cynthia's card says Togekiss or Garchomp.
Would that be Fairy type?
No, Fairy's gone.
There's no Fairy type.
Fairy's not
Fairy's...
in. This is the problem when I've like
Sun and Moon
dipped
days
into the
now.
card game at different points, and it's like they change what types exist in the game.
Only
They also
like
changed,
twice, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a
3
lot of
times,
times.
Yeah.
Dragon
They
also
fundamentally change things.
So
Yes.
before Fairy existed, Dragon used to be weak to Dragon, and then Fairy came, and then they made Dragon weak. Some dragons were still weak to Dragon, but then they made Dragon weak to Fairy. But then Dragon didn't have an advantage against anything. Like it just like ruined Dragon, because all dragons also need dual type energy. I don't know if people have noticed this, which wouldn't surprise me if you didn't notice if you were only playing Pocket for the first time and there's only 4 Dragon cards in the entire game, which is like Druddigan, Dratini, Dragonair, Dragonite. But they all take 2 energy types. That's just the gimmick with Dragon. They're supposed to be stronger. So when they got rid of Fairy, they also got rid of Dragon's weakness. So dragons don't have any weakness now. So that's like makes them stronger, but also the 2 energy is like their downfall, I guess. So Garchomp would ideally be 2 energy. There's no reason not to think it wouldn't be 2 energy. It would probably be like fighting, because fighting represents ground, and then it would probably be, I don't know, like water, because like every dragon is for whatever reason water type at this point. I think Dragon Knight line is water electric, and then Druddigan is water fire.
They could switch Garchomp to be fighting type though. It's not unheard of. They've done that.
The Gibble is Dragon.
The Gibble is Dragon.
They have made there's like there'll be like a Wow, I can't think of the name of the Pokemon. It evolves into Gastrodon.
Oh, Shellos.
Shellos. Like, they've had Shellos that it's like in the same set. The Shellos is a water type, the Gastrodon's a fighting type.
Yeah.
Like, so like that's not.
I don't think
that's
we've
not
gotten that in
unheard
Pocket
of.
yet, though.
No, I don't think we have. But
Looking at previous Garchomp cards, it looks like it has been Dragon and it's been Water.
yes,
So
the Garchomp,
I think
recently was
Garchomp's
a water.
final thing will be water
was a
fighting
water.
as like an energy type.
Oh, as energy. Because
No, I mean as actual, like its actual card type is Water.
yeah. Paradox Rift, I
Why?
think it's a water type. In that. But they also didn't have Dragon for a while. So Steve, what you were saying, like after like Dragon didn't have like a weakness, or like the Fairy took that away, then there wasn't Dragon cards for like
yeah.
multiple sets until Evolving Skies, I believe, was when Dragon cards returned to the physical TCG. So I don't know if they were like, we need to like revamp something here, like we need to reassess Dragon cards in the TCG at that point. But
I think the problem with the TCG and like I will stand on this hill that Fairy type ruined the TCG. Like it didn't.
Wow.
It did. It didn't make it more fun. It didn't like add more strategy. It just completely ruined. Dragon types. It was like weak to Steel, but like Steel still never had an advantage. Like it just messed up the. I don't know, like the rock, paper, scissors of the game completely. But the other thing to think about is there's just not that many fairy Pokemon. So you have a type in the game that you're applying to one of the least populated typings. And the thing like prior to Dragon, prior to Fairy, was like water represents water and ice. Fighting represents rock, fighting, ground. Fire is just fire. Electric is just electric. But there are, and then like grass is like bug, grass, poison sometimes. But fairy was like only fairy.
yeah.
And there wasn't that many fairy Pokemon.
And half
And
the fairy
then-
Pokemon were just normal type before Fairy came in.
So it was, it wasn't great. And like, I actually think that's part of like Metal's problem. There's also not that many Metal Pokemon
True.
in like the grand scheme of things. There's really like they changed Dark. So after they got rid of Fairy completely, they moved Poison type under Dark type. If I recall correctly. So most Poison type Pokemon should be Dark.
Like
Because
Ekans.
Weezing is Dark in Pocket.
Yeah, Weezing is dark. Ekans and Arbok
Whereas
are dark.
prior to that, a lot of Poison fell under Grass.
Yep.
So that was like one of the fixes after they removed Fairy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's a mess.
I still think they could change Garchomp to a fighting type instead of
could.
it being a dragon type.
I don't think
Yeah,
they will.
I double checked the list. It has been fighting a couple of times as well. It's also
Yeah,
been
but-
colorless.
Yeah,
Well,
the
there
colorless
was a-
Garchomp C was the one that won a world championship.
Yeah.
Cynthia's Garchomp level. I think it's Cynthia's Garchomp level C.
Yep. They also had level X Garchomp was colorless as well. Yeah, as you start getting into like other types of cards, you'll start seeing like a colorless Pikachu and stuff back in the Delta Species days.
Yeah.
It can get real confusing if you get too far back. But,
Like I said, I there's a 30-minute video of me talking about the cards more in depth. Speaking of dragon cards, you can get dragon cards at McDonald's. I don't think Al can do that, but
No, we still have Sonic just now.
nice.
do you guys get the Pokemon cards though eventually, don't you?
We have previously, yeah. I don't know if we've got every single one, but yeah, we have previously gotten the same sets, I think.
So off Pokemon.com, they're saying through late February 2025, Pokemon fans can pick up a 4-card Pokemon TCG booster pack, Happy Meal with an activity sheet. Hungry Pokemon fans. So if you're not hungry, this doesn't qualify. You don't qualify for this. Hungry Pokemon fans in the United States can use the McDonald's app to purchase a Happy Meal and receive 24-pack hourglasses and 12-pack hourglasses in Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. So if you want, what is that, two free booster packs? How much is a Happy Meal? I haven't gotten a Happy Meal since the last Pokemon card.
I'd imagine like $4 or $5.
Yeah.
I would guess.
And you can only get the hourglasses once.
Yeah,
Yes.
once per account, right?
Yeah, once per account. Yeah, and you have to have. I think it's the same email address on the app as you have for your account or something like that. I don't know
really?
the exact. Yeah, because someone in the Slack did it and didn't have the right email address and therefore didn't get the hourglasses, and so they had to change their email address and then do it again. It's like linked to your account, I think.
Okay.
Oh no, I tell you what it probably was. I think they had the emails turned off, so they didn't get the email. Something
Yes,
like that.
that's what it was.
That'll
And
be
they had
what
to
it
turn
is.
the email. Yeah.
Ignore
Yeah,
me.
I thought I saw people giving away their codes
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
because they probably
my
thought
bad.
they could stock up on it and then realize it was one per account.
Or they were trying to collect all the physical cards and then, got multiple code emails.
Come on, no one cares about physical cards anymore.
Yeah. Why are you going to McDonald's for that? Just go to eBay, buy them all for like $20.
Okay.
But you can't get chicken McNuggets on eBay. Well, you probably could, but don't do that.
PSA 10 chicken McNuggets. It sounds like this McDonald's rollout is going okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't sound like
It's not as
people are rear-ending each other for Pokemon cards like a couple
not
years
as
ago.
wild as Prismatic Evolutions, I'll tell you that. Yeah, you can easily go get them, it seems like.
I think limiting the redemption as one per account is a massive part of that, right? Like if you could get infinite numbers of them and add them to your account, I think we'd be seeing a lot more issues.
Yeah, I wonder how that works because with McDonald's, you can actually go and you can buy just the toy. You don't have to actually buy if you wanted to buy 10 packs of cards. Now I think it's dependent on the McDonald's. I think they can make their own decisions per
the
the
manager can make their own call.
Yeah, but you can at some places. You can go in there and you can buy just the toy, and that's not just limited to Pokemon, but that happens all the time. I don't know that you would get an email, a pocket email for each time you buy the toy. That may be just when you actually buy the Happy Meal.
Yeah, because I think it's through the app.
It has to be through the app for the email.
Yeah.
Oh,
you can't buy
okay.
the toy through the app because, as
Yep.
you say, it's down to individual stores what they do with that. So that wouldn't work.
Yeah, that wouldn't. Okay, yeah. Yeah, then that's definitely a good idea that they limited that because I think that's the more popular at the moment. That would be the more popular thing to go do would be to stack up on those, hourglasses if you could. Although the cards are cool, they're all a bunch of dragon types, and they got
Quagsire is my favorite dragon.
foil.
But they're limited, right? This is the thing: is that the physical cards, once you've got them all, you've got them all, so you stop buying them. Whereas the hourglasses are hourglasses.
Yeah,
They're not cards, right? So if you were to be able to keep getting those, you could do that and then also sell the packs of cards on eBay at the same time. And yes, sure, it's not the cheapest way to get hourglasses, but you also get food. So
yeah.
Yeah, the McDonald's cards have their own special hollow to them. That's what these are all reprints, but the hollow on the card would make it. I think 1 out of 4 are hollow, and then they technically can all be hollow.
No, there's 4 of them that can be hollow.
Oh,
Yeah.
they've done it in the
it's not
past
like
where
the
they all can
25th.
be
It's
hollow.
not like the 25th anniversary where all the starters can be hollow and not hollow.
Okay.
There are 4 or 5 of the cards, like Miraidon, Koraidon, Drampa, Dragonite, and Pikachu.
Pike.
I think can all be hollow, and then the rest of them are just regular cards. And there are 15 cards total.
Yeah.
So, not as because not even the last time. The last time wasn't incredibly overdone either, but it was the 25th anniversary that was super popular. That was because people were already trying to get cards all the time, and then it was the 25th anniversary with the 25th anniversary stamp, and you could get all the starters, hollow and non-hollow, and it was.
And the Pikachu was $80, and now that same Pikachu is $14.
Less probably, yeah.
and that
There
was
has been-
2021 as well, wasn't it? the
Yes.
25th. So it was like
so
everything. It was like a perfect storm of it, of that extra COVID money that people had from not spending it the previous year.
Yeah.
Some people, obviously, people who didn't lose their jobs.
Right.
correct. Yes.
Okay. Well, let's take one more break. I didn't realize it's been 30 minutes. Let's take one more break. When we come back, we have some Pokemon Go, and that also has a McDonald's thing happening as well. So, or sorry, not a McDonald's, a Prismatic thing,
Yes.
but for Pokemon Go. I guess there was a McDonald's thing like 2 weeks ago where McDonald's have now turned into Pokestops, but I think we already talked about that. All right. No more McDonald's. We will be right back. And we are back from our break. All right, before we get to Pokemon Go, let's just do a Pokemon Sleep check-in, because I know the people who listen for Pokemon Sleep, they are the most vocal if we do not talk about Pokemon Sleep. Al, you still hate it, right?
Sleep who? You've replaced Hannah with someone as someone who is, just dropping off Sleep with someone who was basically 6 months ahead of Hannah. Yeah, it's just too slow for me. I try.
Rufflet didn't bring you back?
No, no, that's the thing. There was, I think I've uninstalled it from the phone now, because it's like, there was a point where it's like after a certain number of events that haven't brought me back, I'm not going back.
Us US people, we don't delete apps anymore.
Just in case.
We might not be able to re-download them if we do.
Look, I'm on Android. It's fine. Yeah, it's just too slow for me. And I liked it at the beginning, and I enjoyed the tracking part of it, but the actual, how many you could get and how you got them just became a I don't want to do this every day sort of thing. So, but I'm glad that people still like it.
Bobby, you regretting downgrading from premium still?
No, I've gotten used to the non-premium lifestyle. But I do find myself not really going after Pokemon, not as many Pokemon like in the morning now that I'm not premium. So
you're 6 months behind Hannah.
Yeah.
You're falling off. You're crashing out.
I don't know.
Steve's the only true fan left.
Yeah, I still enjoy like building stuff up. So like I just got my Quaquaval to level 60 like the other day. So now I unlocked like leak to double leak from that. And I finally got a Quagsire up to 30, so I have double mushroom there. So like I do enjoy like still building things up, but I am okay not being premium. I'm okay not giving the game $10 a month at this point. And like this week, if I was premium, I probably would have ran like a good camp ticket this week during the skills week. But I didn't have a good camp ticket because I didn't get my like monthly. Because you get one every month, right? Like on premium.
Yeah, one a month.
So I didn't get my good camp ticket this month, and so rather than pay for diamonds to go get one because I didn't have enough diamonds, I just was okay with just not using it, and you know what? It's totally fine. So yeah.
There was a 1.5 year anniversary gift, so as long as you log in before April 7th. You will be able to redeem this 1,000 sleep points, 5 Poke Biscuits, 2 Friend Incense, 10 handy candy. I always want to say hard candy. Handy Candy S that you can get by logging in. There, as of this recording, there was no event announced or planned this upcoming week. So I think this might be our first normal week in like 5 weeks. There's like 2 weeks of Christmas, 2 weeks of New Year's.
We had a normal week in between Skills Week and the last one.
Oh, did we?
Like, last week was the normal week, I'm pretty sure. And then
was it?
Was it not? I thought it was, but maybe not.
I felt like we were still in an event when they announced Skill Week because we were complaining on how they normally give us 2 weeks heads up. But then ever since Ilka's taken over, it feels like they don't give us 2 weeks anymore.
Communication not so great anymore. Pokemon.
You're right.
Works.
There might have been a normal week at one point, but there was a lot of events back to back.
Yeah. No, seriously.
So now there's nothing this upcoming week, and we're about exactly 30 days from Pokemon Day, which has to be like another set of legendaries, right? It has to be.
Yeah. Was it? What was last year? Wasn't it?
Last year was Raikou, Entei, Suicune, and they started.
Oh,
off
that was
with
that was a Pokemon Day thing.
Yeah, that was the big Pokemon Day thing. Was the legendaries?
Oh, right, because that's what got me to start playing. Was because
Yep.
Raikou was coming to the game.
I would because we have 6 islands. I would think they would do. I don't think they would do Zapdos, Moltres, Articuno, because I think that's too similar to Raikou, Entei, Suicune.
Yeah.
Right. So like,
Yeah.
I think they would do 3 legendaries, maybe even like the Swords of Justice, so they could have one at. Okay, we would need one at Power Plant, we would need one at Lapis, and then we would need one at Tundra.
But would they do that? Because like Raikou and Entei weren't even on those islands. They were just all
Raikou and Entei now. Entei. Oh no. Oh yeah, Raikou would have been Power Plant. Okay, we're good for Power Plant.
And then Entei was is now taupe, I guess, right? But like it was only on green grass during its event.
Yeah, no, all the Pokemon are only Suicune was, I think, the
beach,
exception,
right?
but Suicune is for the beach.
Yeah.
But
so you need Lapis, like a psychic Pokemon.
I mean,
fighting?
if they did, you need Lapis would be fighting.
Oh, so Terrakion. And then
Power Plant.
grass. There's not a grass one for
No, Power
Parisian.
Plant's good.
What is
They would also.
Cobalion?
We said this last year for Pokemon Day, like they're gonna show a new island, and then they didn't. And then we have.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like we're getting close to new island time again.
The new island didn't even come until. It didn't even come with like the 2.0 update. It came after the 2.0 update. It was just like a random. It was like a random update, and that was quite a while from Lapis, because Lapis showed up before I even started playing, and then Power Plant didn't show up until like September.
Yeah, but okay, but we just celebrated the 1.5 year, which means in June or July. July would be the 2 year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Pokemon Day will be something exciting, ideally, and then July would be something exciting, ideally.
Or I wouldn't be surprised. This is just a generic Pokemon Day thing. I wouldn't be surprised if there's not a huge number of big announcements for the mobile games, because it's going to be massively dominated by the new Switch game.
Yeah, but I think because last year was so even with the announcement of ZA last year, like that last year was a really light Pokemon Day in the grand scheme of things. Like if you went, like maybe the day itself was exciting because people were like Pokemon news, but if you go back and look at it, you're like, oh, not a lot. Especially if you don't play all those games.
Right.
Wait, is this meant to be against my point of there not being many big announcements?
No, I think there will be a lot of big announcements this year. I think
okay.
I think they're going to go super hard this year because they're going to kick it into next year being 30th. That's why I think last year was so light. Is like this year I think they're going to go hard. Like my predictions so far, I guess we'll do a prediction episode as we get closer, but my prediction so far is, we get the release date, we get the trailer for ZA, probably be like November. We get all our mobile game stuff. Unite, Cafe Remix, Sleep, Go, Masters, and then I think we get like a brand new spin-off game.
Are they still going with Cafe Remix? Did they not?
The news could be Cafe Remix is shutting down on Pokemon.
Have they not already done that? No, I sworn that they've already said that's it.
No, I think Mr. Joe Serby is the only person keeping Cafe Remix in business at this point.
Yeah. That is still going.
I mean, I think they will, for the record, talk a lot about the games, but I don't think there's going to be huge news for most of them.
I think we're getting like a 30-minute plus Pokemon Day.
Yeah, and 25 minutes of it will be the new Switch game.
No, they
They don't go for a year after announcing a game, and then tell you almost nothing about it the next year.
Yeah. No, I think it will be very big on the game, but you know they're going to milk it to that point. They're going to be like, here's 6 minutes of Go stuff.
No, but I do feel like we'll get something. I don't know. Even if it is just like new legendaries in Sleep, there'll definitely be something there. And yeah, I don't know.
Also, we have Pocket now too. And there's no way they're not gonna jump up there and talk about how many booster packs have been opened, how many trades have been done, how many secret rares have been found. You know they're gonna do like the Apple/Google thing of like, let us brag about this mobile game that has been the most successful thing we've done since Pokemon Go.
Well, and we've had basically a set per month, including the mini sets. That is so.
Yeah. Like, I think Smackdown
there'll be a new
takes
mini
us,
set.
Smackdown will take us to Pokemon Day, and Pokemon Day will be, here's a new set, whether it's mini or not. Like,
I suspect it'll be mini. I can't see a month between big sets.
Like, if we don't get Darkrai in 6 days, there's no way Darkrai's not the mini set at that point.
We're going to get Darkrai.
Like, we are getting Darkrai. I'm just saying, if we don't get him in 6 days, I will bet my entire Pokemon card collection Darkrai would be slapped on the mini set cover. People love Darkrai, myself included, as a Darkrai.
Darkrai 7-star raid confirmed.
Please. I actually don't think you can move Darkrai into Scarlet and Violet
Yet. DLC number 4 coming in.
I'm still waiting for the third DLC for Sword and Shield that everyone said we were supposed to get. They were supposed to add the rest of the Pokedex, Al. That's what they told me.
Hey, I'm still waiting on Pokemon Stars to come out on Switch. All right, that's
I'm still
the
waiting
real...
for Pokemon Plus and Pokemon Minus. Okay, switching gears to Pokemon Go. Get ready for GO Tour Unova and the Road to Unova event. Side note. I kind of feel like Niantic's had a streak of positiveness in the last couple weeks. Like with the remoting Raid Shadows, with the people seem very positive about this.
Because you told everybody to start being more positive about Pokemon Go.
That's true.
And Niantic
That's
was
all
like,
I did.
oh, we got to start being more positive about Pokemon Go.
He's been doing that for about 2 years.
One person stuck up for us. This will start Monday, February 24th. The tour pass for everyone will be free. We talked about how you could pay to upgrade your tour pass. Shiny Meloetta will make its debut. Road to Unova paid tickets. So these will still be in raids, obviously, whether or not you're paying for the ticket. But if you decide to do $5 for the Road to Unova raid ticket, $4.99, you will get 5 Cobalion XL candy, 5 Terrakion, 5 Virizion, 5 Tornadus, 5 Thundurus, all XL, and then you will get 10 Reshiram candy, 10 Zekrom candy, 5 Landorus XL candy, and 25 Genesect XL candy, and then you will get a set of black and white joggers. You'll also get 5,000 more XP from raids, 1 additional candy for catching a Pokemon in a raid, 1 additional XL candy for raids, 2 times the Stardust from raid battles, and then 1 additional raid pass from the photo disc. So ideally, if you're doing 2 raids a day, 1 would be free, the second one would be free. Well, not free, but free with your $5. So if you're doing
additional
5
purchase.
extra raids, I guess this would be worth it. But you would ideally be able to do 7. And then there's a Road to Hatch, which is another $5. And then you will get Maractus, Sigilif, Bouffalant will be in raids, eggs. They will all be chance to be shiny. You will get a black and white hoodie to match your joggers. You will get twice Hatch XP, twice Hatch Candy, twice Hatch Stardust. And these are giftable, so you can gift these. You cannot gift the Tour Pass. And then Snivy, Tepig, Oshawott will appear more in the wild. Servine, Pignite, Duat will appear in the wild, although they cannot be shiny, so who cares?
Got to get that candy.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're doing more background stuff. Trainers who participate in the 5-star raids will get special backgrounds. Cobalion, Terrakion, Virizion, Therian form Landorus, Genesect can have either background. Therian form Tornadus and Reshiram can have a background inspired by Pokemon Black version. Therian form Thundurus and Zekrom will have a background inspired by Pokemon White version. Plus, when you fuse Zekrom or Reshiram that has a special background with Kyurem, that special background of the opposite color will be available during Unova Tour Global. The fused Kyurem, Black Kyurem or White Kyurem, will have its own variant background. Finally, that's what I've been waiting for. Fused backgrounds.
They have officially hit the point where I don't care about backgrounds anymore.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Al.
I was gonna say the backgrounds jumped the shark with this event.
I don't know. I was there with the community day in December because that was like.
That's where I was too. That's where it jumped the shark for me.
Oh.
I'm just I will still care about the ones I got in LA last year. Those will still have a special place in my heart. And maybe, I was shaky when we did the Necrozma event last year with the Ultra Beasts and the backgrounds on the Ultra Beasts. I was shaky there because I didn't get all of the Ultra Beasts with a background. But now I'm officially I don't care about them anymore. There's too many of them.
When I was in Incheon, I cared so much to try to get either a shiny Pikachu or a shiny Skidoo. Those were the only two Pokemon that could have backgrounds. And I got a shiny Skidoo with a background of Incheon on the background, and I was like, this is fantastic. I love this Skidoo. Everything about the Skidoo is perfect. When I was running around New York, I was like, I want Necrozma with a New York background, shiny. I got it. 150 some raids later. Well, not 150 specifically in New York, but I did a lot of Necrozma. And then the community day, the December community day was like, what am I going to do with a non-shiny Cyndaquil?
Yeah.
With a background. Should I keep it? Should I not? It's I don't want to throw it away because it's my only one. But also, I'm never going to do anything with it.
And that's why they're doing it. It's to pad out the number of Pokemon that you have. It's the same with XXL and XXS, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Kyurem having its own background is really cool. But then they were like, oh, also every other legendary has a background. Yeah. And I'm just that's where I stop caring.
Yeah.
It's
I think I'll still care about a few of them. As you say, if you get a shiny with a background, especially if you're at an in-person event, I think there'll be something that individually I would cherish. But yeah, I'm not trying to collect them all. That's too many.
Yeah. Honestly, as much as as cool as the backgrounds could be, I think they were best when they were of locations. I think the location backgrounds are the coolest ones because that idea is you caught it at this specific place, at this specific event that you went to.
Kind of. I think the event-based ones could be good, like the community day ones, or this is a community day, whatever. I feel like those ones could be good, but it's balancing that with how many you might end up, and you're not going to get it on the shiny. I feel like in those sorts of situations, if they were if it was every Pokemon you caught during that, I would almost care more because then you're guaranteed that the shiny that you care about has the background, and therefore it's just this shiny now means a little bit more to me because it's more obvious what I got this in this event, and it links that memory of the event to that. But yeah, I think you're pretty much right because they didn't do that how I wanted them to. Yeah, it's just the in-person stuff that I would care about now.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's just I don't hate it. It's just something that I can't commit energy to.
Yeah.
Right.
And if
Yeah.
you can, that's cool. Like when I'm in LA, ideally if that event is not canceled, which I don't think it will be, but when I'm in LA and I'm playing, I will probably care about whatever specific background will be in LA. Which is maybe this fusion one they're talking about. But like I completely skipped Ralts Community Day because I already had, a dozen shiny Ralts, and it was freezing yesterday, and I didn't feel well, and I'm in bed, and I caught a shiny Ralts, and I was like, you know what? I don't need to go to the mall. Like, like I just have so many. But I guess I could have went to the mall for a background one.
Well, you could have just paid for the community day ticket as well. So like the community day special research gets you background Pokemon. Gets you like
It's
the
basically
background
the
rolls.
only way to get them. You basically don't. I mean, I know there is a chance to get them if you don't have the ticket,
Yeah.
but I caught 400 routes and not a single one had a background.
Oh, I think you can only get background if it's from a field research, right?
I think it's field research. Yeah, I don't think it's
yeah.
wild.
The wild ones
All right,
won't have
they
a
make
background.
they want me to go into the city, do they?
Yeah,
they don't want you sitting at home.
I have 10 Pokestops here. That's not enough research.
And so for Sprigatito last month or earlier this month, they removed encounters from the field research with Sprigatito. So the only way to get the background with Sprigatito, I believe, was you got one for that additional. So like there's a timed research that you'll have, and we have right now as well.
Yeah.
Where you catch a Pokemon each day, and the final reward is a background. Like for Sprigatito, the final reward was a background Sprigatito. And then if you bought the special research, there were 3 encounters of Sprigatito within that special research for $2. Those were all background Sprigatitos as well.
Yes, because one of mine was shiny off of that.
Oh, nice. So there's that, but I think that's the only way to get the backgrounds. And then now with the Ralts one, I haven't gotten far enough into the special research yet, actually, with the Ralts one. But I believe those are background Ralts as well in the special research. So,
Yeah. It's just
The timed research.
the backgrounds are too much.
special research. So like the one you pay for.
Oh, the paid one, right? Okay.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I haven't done all the steps of that one yet because you don't have to do the community day stuff for that one nowadays. The steps are all not Pokemon specific anymore.
But
Yes.
presumably, if you don't do them during Community Day, you've got a lower chance of the shiny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But also, I think this time they fixed the $2 research because they did increase the price from $1 to $2, and then they had less encounters.
Yep.
But I heard, I didn't buy the research at all because I just said I didn't go out. I slept because I didn't feel good. But I heard it was much better.
So now the special research is 3 pages or 3 sets of tasks instead of 2. And that second page of tasks, it's all encounters with Ralts. So yeah, they fixed it because they removed a bunch of encounters in the Sprigatito one, and they basically put those encounters back in the Ralts special research. So
Complaining works.
So complaining works, I guess. And I'm not sure if the Ralts in the second step are background or not. But there are ones throughout that research that are background Ralts. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Background. Yay.
Backgrounds.
This is also off PokemonGoLive.com. An alluring Pokemon Go and Eevee celebration to celebrate the release of Prismatic Evolutions by visiting select retail locations and encountering Pokemon attracted by allure modules from February 1st to 27th. Best Buy, GameStop, and Target in the United States, GameStop and Toys R Us in Canada, and EB Games in Australia will have Pokestops with lures active to make Pokemon appear. Throughout the week, you may even find some of these locations will have glacial or mossy lures active, giving you the opportunity to evolve Eevee to Glaceon. Of course, the gifts received from these spinning stops will also make fine additions to Trainer's postcard book, so make sure to send them to your friends. So they should be like Eevee-specific Prismatic Evolution Pokestops that should have lures running on them. all day. Store hours? Unsure of. They don't say how long. They just said lures should be active when you go. They did this with.
It says might find. Oh no, that's for the glacial or mossy lure.
Yeah. They did this, I think, in the U.S. with a Walmart promotion at one point.
I don't remember that.
So this is not the first time they've done this. Additionally, trainers in the United States can now purchase Pokemon Go gift cards at Target and Best Buy, as well as Target.com, BestBuy.com, GameStop.com. They will provide in-game currency. It doesn't... $10 for 1,250 Pokecoins doesn't seem like more than what you get.
I'm guessing it's the same price as the Pokemon Go store, so therefore slightly better than if you're getting it in the Play Store or
the
App Store.
shop, right?
Yeah, so this, because obviously previously you could just buy a gift card and put it on the Play Store or the App Store and do that, but this will be a way to gift someone, I guess, a card, which is slightly better value.
The values are different. Like, you can't get a $25 worth of coins in one batch, right?
Yes.
Like, you can only get
It's
20
or 40. And then
So
for $100 in the store, that gives you 14.5, and this is giving you 15 for 100. So you're getting 500 extra Pokecoins, which is an extra $5, I guess.
Interesting, because ours is higher number. It's 15,500.
Oh,
for the highest
in the store,
one
in the app,
in the Pokemon Go store, not in the app, in the store.
Oh, the web store.
In the web store, ours is also 15,500 for $100.
Right. So it's worse. It's worse value than the store. Right. Okay.
So better than the in-game shop, but worse than their web store.
Yeah. Literally in the middle. It's just
probably because the retail store takes. I think retail stores take a small cut of the gift card, right?
Yeah.
To have it on the shelf.
It's all not real currency.
Yeah, correct. I'm sure Target loves selling Fortnite and Roblox gift cards, though. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that those are their best sellers.
So if you're gifting someone, those cards are the best way to do it. If you're buying it for yourself, it's still best to do it on the web store.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. You could buy $100 worth of incubators for Unova Tour.
Look, I'm not going to say I'll never do that again, because that's just asking for being mocked when I do it again. But I am currently not planning on doing that again. Look, also, can I just point out that was a great deal, not just because of how much it cost and how many incubators you got, but because I was in California, I didn't pay any. I don't know if California normally I paid almost no sales tax, whereas in the UK we have 20% sales tax
on digital items,
on everything.
There should have been I paid sales tax. Mine was 9% sales tax.
It was something. Yeah, I don't know what it was, but my point was it was.
You shouldn't be paying sales tax on digital goods in California.
Well, I don't know.
Every time I have bought from the web store, I have paid a 9% sales tax on the store. And I've actually messaged Niantic about this, and I was like, why am I paying California sales tax on digital items? And they never got back to me.
I wonder if there's something weird where because you're in the same country, just in a different state, it doesn't realize that. But because I was in a completely different country, it went, oh, this isn't where you live. And
it could be the card you used.
Different. Possibly, yeah. It could be that.
Shouldn't be. I'm very. We have interesting digital sales tax laws here in California. I'm very surprised that you're paying any sales tax on a digital good.
I was surprised too.
Well, my point was I didn't, so it was a great deal for me.
Yeah. Like, I don't. Right now, if I try to buy a $10 bundle on the Pokemon Go web store, I am not paying any tax. It is $9.99, and that is it. There's no tax involved.
I'm not lying to you, Bobby.
I believe you, but like right now in Wisconsin, if you try to do something, you pay tax on that.
For digital?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm pretty sure it's a state specific law, but like in California, unless you're getting an item with that digital good, like unless you're getting a physical item, I don't believe there should be a tax on it. But
I would assume that I would be paying Minnesota state tax on a digital item, not California state tax. Why would I be paying California's state tax when I don't live there?
Yeah, and you shouldn't. But also, I'm not paying California's state tax, and I live here because
like
it's
I said,
a digital good.
I messaged Niantic about this when I initially did it, which was before Sinnoh Tour. Because I think I bought $100 worth of coins before Sinnoh Tour to anticipate, raid passes and incubators and whatever.
Right.
And then I saw the sales tax and I was like, what? Why did I get also 9%? And they never got back to me.
I don't know. For
Not
science,
surprising that Niantic
for
doesn't get back
science,
to me.
I just went and purchased this, and I did not pay any sales tax. I just paid $9.99 for
webstore.niantic.com.
yes, for Pokecoins. I just bought 1,300 Pokecoins for $9.99, no sales tax. So I don't know what's going on with your app over there, what they're doing to you.
I did
Steve,
it off
but
the website.
I don't know what Niantic is doing to you specifically, but I didn't pay any sales tax.
It's
I complain
the
too
Steve
much.
sales tax. Just Steve.
Yeah, I guess it's because I complain too much. Okay, last thing I want to talk about is, I just added to my cart. It's $109.02. 9.025 sales tax.
That is, I don't know why you're paying sales tax. That is very weird.
If you're watching this on YouTube or Slack or Discord, please let me know what your sales tax situation is for this. It's not Niantic's, like, it is their store, but it goes through Zola, and Zola does like a lot of eShop stores. I think Zola is what runs both Fortnite and Roblox. Like, it's a pretty popular gaming. I think they also do like Valorant. So obviously it is still Niantic store, but like the processing would probably. It says in the thing here, by processing you are confirming you're an adult and you're agreeing to all the rules by Zola. Zola collects cookies from this page. Please note that this purchase, Zola is an authorized merchant of record and control. If you have any questions, please reach out to Zola. So maybe that's why Niantic never got back to me, is it's more of a Zola problem than a...
Yeah, maybe there are different laws, like state laws with like taxes and stuff for digital goods or something. Because again, I just did the 99. I didn't do the 99 thing, but I added it to my cart, and that's $99.99. It's no sales tax. So
Yeah, no, I got the sales tax. Not even my own sales tax. Oh wait, last thing.
I don't know.
Last thing I want to talk about is the thing that I predicted happened. So like a month ago, we were talking about max mushrooms in raids, and Bobby and Hannah were like, "This is good for small communities," and I said, "Maybe, but I don't think anyone should be paying this money." But I was more concerned about a different type of player, and somebody commented, I think on Spotify. We do get comments on Spotify, but I feel like if I start responding to them, I will have to respond to everyone. So I've just been avoiding the Spotify comments. I do try to respond to everyone on YouTube, but somebody on Spotify was like, Steve's badly defending rural players. I'm not defending rural players. You guys are all a lost cause. You live in the middle of nowhere. Niantic doesn't care about you. I've tried to get Niantic to care. You guys are a lost cause. But
Thanks.
The player I was thinking about was the player that I saw this past weekend for Articuno Raid Hour, which Articuno was a 5-star D max raid. D-Max raids are 4 players. Gigantamax raids are 40 players. So 6-star Gigantamax is like your Toxtricity and your Lapras, and then 7-star Gigantamax would be ideally like Melmetal or Urshifu whenever they come. But what my complaint was there's going to be people who buy this that add zero benefit to the team because they don't understand mechanics. And I went into a five-star Articuno, and if you tap and hold on the waiting screen, it will like show you their like level, because you'll see like the 4 silhouettes. And also, if you have a Max Mushroom, your character will glow red. So somebody came into my raid with a Max Mushroom, and I was like, oh, cool. And I tap and hold, and they are level 35. Their trainer level is 35. Everyone else is 40 plus. I'm 50. And I go, huh. Well, that means their Pokemon can only be like, max, 37 or 39 or something? Like, you can only go like slightly above
37 and a half or something, I think.
Yeah.
Like 2.5 levels above something. 1.5.
So the raid starts. Reminder, this person paid for a Max Mushroom. And the first Pokemon they send out against Articuno is a Raboot, who then immediately gets one shot. Their second Pokemon they throw out, which doesn't get one shot, is an Articuno that they just caught in a different raid that wasn't with me, which dies very quickly. Not as quickly as the Raboot, but very quickly. And their third Pokemon, we're not even in the first phase of the game. We're still building max power, is a Cryogonal, which does survive a little bit longer than everything else. But then they're done. They paid money to do no extra damage or any. Why did they buy a Max Mushroom? They didn't do anything. They wasted money. That was it. They probably thought in their head like, oh, I'm going to do more damage. You're not doing more damage when you're getting one shot by Articuno. You're just not.
What they should have done is gone into. I know this probably wasn't working because you probably weren't. You probably didn't know who they were.
I didn't. Right. I didn't know where
play.
they were standing. Yes.
They should have done party play, because presumably does the Max Mushroom work on party play?
No. Like this was the thing that I also. We were completely wrong at, because Max Mushrooms weren't out at the time when me, Hannah, and Bobby were arguing about this. I thought when you did a Max Mushroom, it applied to your team of 4. It only applies to you. And it increases your damage by 50%. And my whole argument was that doesn't matter when you're dying so quickly.
Yeah.
And that person bought how much is a Max Mushroom? Isn't it like $2, $3? It's not.
Yeah, 400 coins for 1, 1,000 for 3.
So you're level 35 and you're sending out a Raboot to an Articuno and you're getting one shot and you paid money for this. That was the player I was worried about the entire time.
I want to be clear to say that I didn't think people wouldn't use this appropriately. I just know that it also could help people. That doesn't mean that there are going to be people who don't know what they're doing with it.
So I did 5 Articunos. Surprisingly, the dude with the Max Mushroom, we won. He was no help.
He probably thinks he was, though. He probably thinks it was because of his Max Mushroom, which is why he had the previous Articuno that he had gotten from something.
Well, this is the thing from his point of view. He paid money. He got what he wanted, right? Does it matter whether it actually helped? He's happy.
I'm more concerned of what he was using before that one Articuno slotted into that slot.
Yeah. So
I did 5 at the Mall of America. They filled really easily. Because I want to talk, because I genuinely like these raids and I think they're fun. I do take like screenshots to make sure, like, am I playing with the same people? Is everyone different? I try to like see what levels are, because I do generally, I'm like, who are playing these max raids? Like, people are. And this didn't need 40; it needed 4. So everyone I played with was completely different. Every raid. We failed once, and it was like really obvious that we failed right away. Like, literally everyone brought, like, I don't know why people were bringing Gengars, but like everyone's Gengar got one shot right away, and then they all brought in like Cinderaces, and they all got one shot right away, and I just backed out of that raid. I was like, this is a lost cause. The one thing I will say is it was harder than I thought. I think just because you have 4 people and because Articuno is so strong, it did feel like a 5-star raid. It did feel like legendary raids maybe should feel challenging, and it did kind of feel challenging, but it also, in my perspective, felt like it was 3 versus Articuno, because there was always like one person with like the Sobble or the Raboot. So almost every single one of those five raids I did successfully one person just died right away. And I don't know if they stayed, because if they would have stayed, they would have just got the Articuno.
Yeah.
But if they stayed, they would have cheered, and that would have accelerated it. The raids felt like I couldn't do more. Well, maybe I could have, but like it was an hour to do 5. Just how long it took with like getting in, waiting for everyone to set up. So like even going back to the max mushroom, maybe 2.5 you could get out of a max mushroom because it's 30 minutes.
Well, that person got 2 Articuno potentially.
Right. Because I'm like trying to go as fast as possible. Like I'm walking to the next Articuno as soon as like the raid is.
Were you using max mushroom?
No, because there's no point in me. I have to play defense the entire time.
Oh, sure. Okay.
So there's never a point in me playing. Like, I mean, I guess I would do slightly more damage, but I'm almost like against Lapras. I was running almost just Lapras. Against Articuno, I was running Lapras primarily because it was 4 times resisted. So it was like switch to Lapras, Gigantamax, max shield, max heal, repeat. And that's literally what I did for all 5 raids.
So, okay, so question, were you seeing, because I haven't done any of the Articuno ones. I'm still just like, I'm not super into the Dynamax, Gigantamax stuff at this point. But did you see a lot of the people you were playing with, were they bringing, other than your typical Reboots and Sobbles, were they bringing Gigantamax Pokemon to these, or were they mostly bringing Dynamax Pokemon to the Articuno raids?
I saw a lot of Metagross, Cinderace, and Gengar. I very rarely saw Toxtricity at all. But again,
Gigantamax Gengar or Dynamax Gengar? Because they have Gigantamax Gengars.
They would switch out the Gengar to like a Cinderace or Metagross, and then switch back to Gengar. So it felt like people were playing a little bit better than normally. And the reason I noticed switching is because I'm like the one hitting the heal button. So it's like, oh, I'm going to have to heal this Gengar. And all of a sudden it's like a full health Cinderace standing next to me.
See, I feel like, ironically, these might actually be harder than the Gigantamax. Not in terms of any like numbers, but purely because you can only have 4 people.
Yeah.
Whereas with Gigantamax, you can have 4. If you have 40, assuming at least like 10 of them have decent counters, you're probably winning. But when you've only got 4, if you've got more than one who's dying quickly, you're done.
Yeah. It did feel like there was one raid where we were down to 2. It was just me and it was just another person. And that felt really rough because they didn't have a good attacker. And
so you were keeping them alive and they weren't actually killing it.
Yeah, they didn't have a great attacker and I did, but I was like, if I switch to my attacker, they're not going to defend or heal me. And Articuno does hit very hard. So that's why I just kept like Lapras out because I was like, I cannot die with Lapras. But it's like I need to keep redirecting the damage to me because if they die, then it's just on me at that point.
Right.
So it felt different enough. Like I really do like Gigantamax and Dynamax. Like I just love how there is actually a strategy to it that like when you power up one of these Pokemon, it feels like actually valuable on your team. Whereas like I have 6 Tyranitar. I've never looked at them. They just exist. When they need to come out, they come out. But like I haven't like looked at them in years. It's just like I powered them up so long ago that when I do a normal raid, they just come out and I just tap and I don't even look at the screen.
Yeah,
where this
you'll probably
like,
get there with these as well, in a year or so.
Yeah. Like I like building up my collection of these Pokemon, but it does feel real. Like I'm anticipating the day where I can actually be an attacker where like somebody else is like, oh cool, like they're healing, and they're like, but like I haven't had, like, I don't mind, like when I played Final Fantasy 14, I played a healer. I played a healer class. So I like healing, and I like playing support in like Scarlet and Violet and stuff. So that's not a problem for me. It's just funny that like I am the only healer in these situations.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
One day. Then maybe I can use my free max mushroom one day when I'm like the attacker.
Well, maybe it was this person's free max mushroom.
No, well, I got the free max mushroom from the $5 Lapras pack, so technically I paid for it. But the free trial max mushroom is gone.
Oh, right. Okay.
Which I guess I should have used on Lapras.
To use that, right?
You had, the free, that's why I wanted to wait till like after Lapras, because I was screen recording and taking pictures of Lapras, because there were a lot more max mushrooms on Lapras.
Sure.
But there was the free, it was like 15-minute free trial. And so it was like hard to have, like, in my head, I'm like, why? Please, all these people, there's no way all these people are buying max mushrooms, but I'm assuming most were just free trials.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, it was just very funny seeing the one person running max mushroom wasn't even level 40, and they opened up with a reboot and then an Articuno that they definitely just caught.
I feel like we're past the point now where people who don't like the feature are complaining about it publicly, and now they're just not talking about it. I think there's been enough Pokemon that they've now not caught that they're just like, I'm just not going to bother now. And they might still moan about it, and I think that's fair. Like, I still have issues with the feature personally. Like, it's, we don't need to get into that, but I'm not kind of moaning about the same things now, right? And it's like, I don't have all the Gigantamaxes. I don't have all the Dynamaxes now. I did have all the Dynamaxes until these birds, but now I don't. But that's okay. I'm still going to do... Is it Saturday, the next Gigantamax? I think it is.
Is it this coming
February.
for Kingler? I think Kingler's coming soon.
Yeah, it's the 1st of February. So I'll be going to do that. I'm planning to go into Edinburgh and do that. But I don't have the complete collection, and that's fine, I guess.
Yeah, and like Kingler doesn't seem like a Pokemon you would run Max Guard or Max Spirit on. Like Kingler seems like you just max out the max attack, whatever it is called.
I don't know.
Max Strike or whatever the first one's called. Because
right.
When you compare Kingler to Blastoise, they're both water. So Gigantamax Blastoise versus Gigantamax Kingler. Gigantamax Kingler does way more damage, but isn't nearly as bulky as Blastoise. So like,
sure.
When you are setting these Pokemon up and you're like thinking of like resources, it would make more sense to put Max Guard and Max Spirit on a bulkier Pokemon like Blastoise, and then for a Pokemon like Gigantamax Kingler, which is its attack is way higher than Blastoise, that would just make sense as like, this is your attacker, and then when you need to play defense, you switch to Blastoise. And then you're not like...
help if...
I think maybe there's people that are like, it's so expensive to unlock all the moves, which is accurate, it is, but you don't need to unlock all the moves for all the Pokemon. Pokemon play roles, and that's why I like this more than just regular raids, because there is no roles in regular raids. It is just tap.
Well, if they would bring back Gigantamax, Blastoise, Charizard, Venusaur, so more people had a chance to get them, then people could build up their Blastoise, since it's tankier. But I would imagine there aren't a lot with having them at this point in time.
I think they'll bring them back for Pokemon Day.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
that'll be the first repeat G-Max.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think my I don't even think we're at that point now where I'm not even really feeling like I don't have enough max particles, except on, say, I suspect on Saturday I'll be like, I would like to do another battle, but I'm not going to pay for any more max particles. So other than that, right, like for building up your Pokemon, I'm at the point now where you can get enough to do it over time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem for me is the XL candy for getting up to level 3. Like that's the hardest thing, which
And
you're just
to be
slowly
fair, you don't
getting
even
to
need that.
anyway. You don't need it. No, but I want it. That and also like if you don't have 1,000 candy for a Pokemon, powering it up enough to a level that it's actually going to be useful, like just its actual level, as well as unlocking the moves. That's kind of the pain point I'm still feeling.
Yeah. I mean, I'm personally bringing all my Pokemon up to 40. I haven't used XL candy to go past that because the XL candy is more valuable for the max moves than it is.
Yeah,
for
see,
the
I've not
level.
even managed to get most of them up to that point because there's just some that I just like Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur. I basically have no candy anymore, and they're sitting at like level 35 now. So it's like I've not even managed to get them up to 40 yet. But we'll get there eventually. If they ever put them back in the wild again, that would be nice. I could get some more candy.
Don't ask for Gen 1 Pokemon in the wild, Al.
Throw in the wild.
No more Gen 1 Pokemon in the wild. We're past that. That ship has sailed. All right, that's our show for you guys today. Thank you for listening. Thanks for making it to the end. I hope you enjoyed the McDonald's and sales tax episode. We will be back next week. Thank you, Al. Thank you, Bobby. This has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are
Super effective.
Super getting all your Happy Meals.